Hello, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are celebrating the launch of my new cookbook, Vegan Vibes. I'm so excited because I have been working on this cookbook for what feels like forever. Let me turn down this. Honestly, it feels like forever, but it's been about 2.5 years since I signed the contract, started developing the recipes, started writing the book, testing the recipes, photo shoots, all that good stuff. But finally, after 2.5 years, it is here. And if you pre-ordered it, then I know that you will be receiving it today if you haven't yet. So I'm so excited for you to get your hands on Vegan Vibes. This cookbook was definitely a labor of love, and I think it turned out so beautiful. My family's in here. There are 100 delicious recipes that are also vibrant and colorful and nutritious and just great for every day. My goal with this cookbook was to make recipes that were approachable and exciting and delicious and nutritious, but also easy to make so busy people can make them too. So I hope you enjoy it. Today we're going to be making one of the recipes from this cookbook. And I just had it. Oh my goodness. It's we're going to do the jerk sweet potato fries. And okay, I have like a little close-up camera down here too, so I can kind of show it to you little, but this is really on my cutting board. So let me lift it up for you a little bit. Jerk sweet potato fries. I love this recipe. It's I think a unique take on sweet potato fries with a little extra spice, a little, a little vegan vibes on it. You know what I mean? I use a jerk seasoning, which you will see, along with some other spices, super simple stuff. You can easily make these at home. And these are great for parties. It's great for, just for yourself. If you want to cook some sweet potato fries for yourself, they're so easy. And for this recipe, we're going to be using the air fryer. But in this cookbook, all my recipes that call for an air fryer or an Instant Pot or any other special cooking appliance, I also give instructions for preparing it with your oven. Okay, so either will work just fine. Now, for everybody watching, if you have any comments, any questions, you can leave them. Oh, I'm lucky. I can see your comments right here. I'm going to have to look at the computer occasionally. I'm so excited that you guys are here. This is an emotional day for me because, like I said, I've been working on this for so long, and it just felt like, when is it going to come out? So for us to be here and for you guys to be here, thank you. So we got people from all over watching. Share where you're watching from also. Book just got delivered. Yes, a lot of people are waiting. That's so great. Yes, that Moroccan spice cauliflower, one of my favorites. Oh my goodness. Hi, Robin. Wow. Oh my gosh. Got the cookbook in the mail 3 seconds ago. I love that. Oh, hi, Mark. I see so many familiar faces or names here. Thank you all for being here. We got the Virgin Islands. We got Ohio, North Dakota. I'm here in Atlanta, which is my hometown. And so for this cooking class, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to give you guys some more of the background of the cookbook, what my inspiration for it was. Maybe we'll talk about some of my other favorite recipes. So it is so hard to narrow it down, but we can talk about it. If you have any questions, ask them. This is a great opportunity because I want this to be like an interactive chat if we can make it that way. And if you have any questions about going vegan, about the cookbook, about vegan nutrition, about anything, I'm here to answer them. And another thing I was going to say, yes, so we'll be talking, I'll be cooking throughout. I was going to say something else, but I forgot it. Oh, well. So how about we get started while I'm looking at all of your comments roll in. First thing we're going to do for the jerk sweet potatoes, and just in case anybody is just joining us, we are making the jerk sweet potato fries for my new cookbook, Vegan Vibes. I almost called it Sweet Potato Soul. Well, it's called Sweet Potato Soul Vegan Vibes. Oh, and I want to tell you guys why I named it that. So we're going to make this, and while we're chit-chatting, I'm going to start by slicing the sweet potatoes. So I've got 2 medium-sized, this one's a little small, but 2 sweet potatoes here. And I've already peeled them. I love sweet potato fries. A little thing about Baby J, who I dedicated this cookbook to and who is in the cookbook, finally making her debut. My daughter, 6 years old, does not like sweet potatoes. As much as I love sweet potatoes, I am Miss Sweet Potato, she doesn't like them unless they are sweet potato fries. So lately, over the last few weeks, I've been making a lot of sweet potato fries because I'm like, girl, I had my water in front. Girl, I love sweet potatoes. I'm not one of those moms who wants to make two meals. I feel like when I make a meal, you're going to eat it, you know? And so the sweet potatoes, she just like wasn't enjoying them. But sweet potato fries, we love. She does not like them spicy like this recipe, but I do. So, we want them nice and crispy. So we're going to just, cut them in like little fry shapes, I like to keep them really thin so that there's more surface area so they crisp up really nicely in the air fryer. And I'm just going to put them on this plate. We're going to serve them on this plate too. But while I chop, let me read your comments. Oh my goodness, we have people from so many places. Okay. So is that a typo? Yeah, somebody asked about the cooking class. There was a cooking class on January 8th as well. And that was the first pre-order only cooking class. I might do another one in a few weeks, but my publisher said that I needed more time to advertise it. So I understand that. So I said, okay, today I can't just sit and watch TV to celebrate. I have to actually interact with you guys to make it feel real to me. Because, I'm working from home. Unlike my first cookbook, I didn't have like travel with this one. I'm not going on a cookbook tour and I didn't go on TV or anything like that. So what happened was this morning I woke up and I had already planned to do this, but for this reason, I woke up and I just went about my regular day. But this was such a major thing that happened in my life. I felt like I had to do something, even if it was going to be last minute like this cooking class is. And I'm so glad I did because you guys are here and you're watching. And I just wanted to connect with you. But yeah, if you did pre-order, I have all of your emails too. And if you pre-ordered and you didn't give me your email, you can register the pre-order on the website. And if we do any more pre-order only bonus classes, then I'll let you know. And I do want to do something because I really am grateful to you guys for supporting me before you even got the book. I mean, you guys are pre-ordering as early as I think November, which I am so pleased and I'm so grateful and honored because that's a long time to wait. But it really does help with the sales of the cookbook. So thank you. Let me go back to your questions. Okay. Oh, thank you for all the congrats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the hardest thing about this recipe, which is not hard at all, is just slicing the sweet potatoes. Generally, I try to keep prep as little as possible for this cookbook. But in the beginning of the cookbook, before you get to the recipes, I actually write a good deal about my favorite kitchen tools and pantry essentials to make your life easier when you are cooking vegan food. It doesn't have to be super prep heavy. Even if you wanted to make these sweet potato fries last minute, you could totally buy sweet potato fries like frozen from the grocery store. Trader Joe's has them. I think every grocery store has. You could just buy regular sweet potato fries and, they're not seasoned. Try to buy the ones that aren't seasoned. And then you can put the seasoning from this cookbook on those. That will save you so much extra time. But I don't know. I kind of like chopping sweet potatoes. I think it's fun. Oh, hi from Mexico. Thank you. Thank you. So you know what? I wanted to say the reason I called it Vegan Vibes because, I'm not like the best marketer, right? But I really liked that name and I had all these ideas. I was trying to come up with ideas to like really build a campaign around the name, but it just comes from my heart. Like I feel like I've been vegan since 2011. It'll be 14 years this spring, right? And for me, when I became vegan, I did it for ethical reasons, number one, first and foremost. But then my health improved so much. And it was almost as though a cloud was lifted off of me. I immediately started feeling like I'm living in more alignment with my values. Physically, I felt better. I had a lot less brain fog because previous to becoming vegan. I had terrible digestion, which just affects everything. And ever since I became vegan, so like I said, almost 14 years now, I have felt a certain type of energy, right? And I like to call that a vegan vibe because I really do believe that eating this way and living this way is, at least for me, and can be such a positive, way of living, and all, because it really spreads its, veganism is not just about what you eat. It's really all about your lifestyle, about how you live. It starts to become how you think about other things, and how you think about other systems as well. So the vegan vibe is like, it's all about good vibes and positivity and joy and feeling good. And I know that these recipes are going to take you there. They're also colorful too, like these fries. So we've got all of our fries nice and sliced. You guys are giving me so many congrats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so, so, so grateful that you guys are here right now. So look how pretty our fries look. They look perfectly sliced, right? Nice and thin. I always say cut them like how you would cut them, like get a McDonald's fry, like that thickness. McDonald's fries are not even vegetarian, so we're not doing that. But that width is exactly what we need here. So now this is, oh, you know what? I meant to measure out the oil, but I forgot. I've got the little bowl here. So let me measure it out right now. We're going to be using for this recipe 3 tablespoons of oil. Okay. I just use olive oil. You can, I think in the cookbook I wrote avocado oil. I love avocado oil because it's neutral and it's got a high smoke point. But the best oil of all is definitely olive oil. Though it does have a flavor, but it's not gonna cause any problems here with our sweet potato fries. So you need about a tablespoon of oil on the sweet potato fries. I'm gonna get some tongs. Let's see, I've got a few pair. So to keep my hands nice and clean, I'm going to use these tongs to toss them. I don't know. You know what? I didn't say buy tongs in the cookbook, but I used to do everything with my hands, and I do a lot still, like, of course. But in a time like this, when you're teaching a cooking class, I don't want to have to walk away and wash my hands. Just anytime I need my hands for more than just cooking, right? I use tongs to do some of the work for me. Just generally, as I've gotten older and even busier becoming a mom, I'm all about the little, like, anything to save myself some time. So we just want to coat them evenly. They're looking good right now. We're going to do a little bit of salt on these. So, oh, you know what? Here's a confession. I never remember my recipes after I write them. So I have to look at them just like everybody else. So we did our oil, and now we're going to do our seasoning. So we have 2 teaspoons of jerk seasoning here. Now, jerk seasoning can come in the liquid, paste. Sometimes it's like a sauce, but we're just using a jerk powder, which is a blend of spices. There's chili in there. There's thyme, nutmeg. So we're going to use that. And we also here have dried thyme. Thyme is an essential ingredient herb for jerk. Jerk always has thyme, always has nutmeg, and always has black pepper. So we're going to do a little extra thyme for that. And I'm going to, let me just double check. I haven't made these in a while. So we're going to toss the fries with, now that we've already coated in oil, I like to do the oil first and then the spices so it sticks better. But we're going to toss with the spice blend here. We also have my other favorite spice, garlic powder. I cannot live without garlic powder. I used to buy it in bulk online, but now that I've moved back home to Atlanta, I have a Costco membership. So I just buy it at Costco, but it's still a nice big size. So I use it all the time. Anytime I'm roasting vegetables, putting them in the air fryer, vegetables, or even like tempeh, or not tempeh, tofu, garlic powder is a must. And then we have our salt. So let's do the salt. Okay. And then we're going to give them another toss, and we're going to put them in our air fryer, which, by the way, let me just preheat it. Is it plugged in? Oh, it is plugged in. A little tip about air fryer. So you don't always have to preheat. Let me set 5 minutes. You don't always have to preheat your air fryers. However, when it comes to like a sweet potato fry, what we want to be nice and crispy, I do preheat it. Anything that I'm like really trying to get that fried texture from, I just preheat it. When it's already hot, when you put the food in there, I think that it does better, that it crisps up better. Otherwise, with roasted vegetables, I don't do that. However, with this cookbook, if I think you should preheat it, I've written it there. You don't have to try to think, oh, did she say that? Or when it's written in the instructions. Thank you. Robin says something about the great pictures in the book. Thank you. I am so pleased with these pictures. The photographer, her name is Caitlin Bensel. She did an amazing job. She's based in Birmingham. And it turns out, I don't know if you guys know, but there's, I can't remember, what is it, Dot Dash, which is a media conglomerate. Their food magazines are based in Birmingham. And previously they were owned by Meredith Corporation and can't remember right before, but anyway, great food photographers like Caitlin in Birmingham. And I just happen to get the best of the best. I think she and her team did an incredible job. I'm so glad I didn't do it myself. One, because it would have been so much work. Two, because it's always good to hire somebody who's better than you at the job. And I'm so happy with how they turned out. So now you see our fries are nice and coated. I'm going to set those aside because I want my air fryer to heat up, preheat just a little bit more. And then I'm going to prep the other ingredients. And I'm going to look at your comments real quick. Thank you, Gray and Islay on the congrats. I've been vegan since 2015. Oh, let's talk about that. So Gray and Islay says, I've been vegan since 2015. My challenge is getting enough protein without preservatives or soy-based. Any suggestions? Yes, I do have suggestions, especially around protein. Now, I do love soy. I like soy because, well, it's got a lot of health benefits. In addition to having protein, it's also got the soy isoflavones, which show really amazing health benefits, including reduction of cancer, especially reproductive cancer. So I like soy for that. However, if you have a soy allergy or cannot eat soy, that's okay. My other favorite, probably my favorite, yeah, it's my favorite form of plant-based protein is lentils. I love lentils so much. Any type of lentils. There are so many different varieties. Green lentils, or green or brown, which are the ones that we're probably most familiar with in the United States. Like if you think of a lentil soup, there's red lentils, there's split red lentils, there's French lentils. If you want a lentil that maintains its shape, sort of like a bean would versus getting mushy, then French lentils and beluga lentils, black lentils. There's so many lentils, and they're very high in protein, actually higher than beans. 1 cup of cooked lentils contains 18 grams of protein. And the other thing about the lentils is 1 cup is really not that much. I did a video probably 2 or 3 weeks ago on my channel where I just chronicled the food that I ate in a day. And I calculated how much protein I consumed in that day. And one of the recipes was the sweet potato lentil salad on the back of this cookbook. And I ended up eating, I think I ate 1.5 cups of it. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but if you want to see exactly what I ate, watch that video. But it was super high in protein, so nutritious, absolutely delicious. And yeah, no soy. Another thing about soy, though, is it is a complete protein, but I write about this in the cookbook. You don't need to worry about getting a complete protein from every meal, like a complete protein source. For one, all plants have all the amino acids, but it's in different amounts. Sometimes it's so little, it doesn't really register as much, but you don't really need to worry about, am I getting complete proteins with every single meal that I eat, or is every single plant-based protein I consume a complete protein? That doesn't matter, because what happens is when you eat protein, your body breaks it down into its amino acid building blocks anyway. Like your body is going to make use of all of those amino acids as it needs. Oop, okay, this is hot now. So you don't need to worry about it that much. Or not at all, actually. Your body's fine. Let me put these in there. I'm just gonna, here, I'll bring this so you can see it better. But I'm just going to, I might have to do this in a couple of batches because I don't want them to be like crowded on top of each other too much. If they are crowded a lot, then they won't crisp up, right? So we might have to do this in a couple of batches. I have a larger air fryer, so we'll see. It's okay. I feel like it's okay if I have like a couple on the top crossing over, but that's about, let me take these two out. I just want them extra crispy right now. It's crispy and spicy. Okay, we're gonna put this back in for 10 minutes and then we're gonna look at them and give them a little stir and then another 5 minutes, okay? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, great. All right, so yeah, that's my advice on protein. Definitely look at that video that I just posted just so you can see what I eat. I didn't go out of my way to eat protein. I do not eat protein powders. The only time I will use a protein powder is when my life is so busy that I'm just like, I don't have time to grab like my personal favorite high protein snack, especially after an exercise, edamame. So like, oh, I didn't have time to boil edamame. I'll make a quick smoothie and do a protein powder. But that is very rare for me because I'm just not a smoothie person. And also I try to eat the most wholesome version of anything. Blending it up in a smoothie or cooking it on the stove is my ideal of good processing. I don't want anything that's too highly processed with these, protein isolates, which we find in a lot of the protein powders. Also, protein powders are very expensive. So you definitely save a lot of money if you're getting your plant-based protein from these wholesome sources versus super expensive protein powders. But if that's what you need for your lifestyle and your, maybe you don't have a lot of time, then that's fine too. Whatever it fits your schedule. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Walmart or Sam's Club, asks Tina. Oh, or I guess you're asking to someone else. Okay. Oh, okay. Probably the garlic powder. I shop at both Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's, Aldi, Lidl. I shop at all of them. Whole Foods, Kroger. I love them all. I love grocery stores. The bottom line is I like to shop. Okay. Oh, thank you, Audrey. Can you make a cheap meal prep for beginner? Yes. That's Win Forever asks, can I make a cheap meal prep for beginner? Yeah, actually, I have some on my YouTube channel, actually. If you go to my playlists, there's one called Meal Plans or Meal Prep or something like that. And you can find some, examples there that the links might take you to the blog or you might just like download it. I can't remember. But we do also send free meal plans every week in my newsletter. So if you haven't yet signed up for the newsletter, please do so. You can do so by, actually, Jess, can you post a link to sign up for the newsletter, please? Jess is my media manager. She is running this. Thank you, Jess. I couldn't have done this cookbook without her. Okay. Period. So I love you, Jess. Oh goodness. Let's see if you guys had any more questions. Oh, okay. Hi, cousin. Oh my goodness. I forgot. I have all these. My birthday was a couple of days ago, you guys, and my cousin Otera texted me and I haven't texted you back. I'm so sorry, but I did read it and I do love you and thank you so much. Thank you for being here too. Yeah, those food ruts. Sometimes you get in a food rut where it's like, I don't have time. I don't have the energy. Okay, I'll do a protein powder. Especially if it's a tasty one, and you can make a good smoothie with it. If I do a protein powder, the one I like is called Happy Viking. And that is that's Venus Williams's company, the tennis player. And that's my favorite. I don't love every flavor, but the vanilla chocolate, they have one called a pina or grina colada. This is like pineapple-y. And the strawberry. Those are the ones I like for sure. Oh, and thank you for sharing the protein sources. Yes, I did a video all about soy. I think that was the last video. Yay! Been vegan. Oh, wow. Robin, I didn't know you've been vegan on and off that long. That's so cool. So, okay, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. Shout out to Robin, who is an incredible artist, a sculpture artist. She and I met 10 years ago when I was working at Pure Food and Wine, the infamous Pure Food and Wine. If you guys saw the movie on Netflix, that vegan, that's that restaurant. Great restaurant. It was like, the food was incredible, but I met her there. And RIP to that restaurant. It's not around anymore. Thank you. How are your live vid production and vibes so immaculate? Oh, I don't know. Thank you. I got some lights up and a camera. And that's it. Oh, and Conrad, thank you also for sharing some other high quality, high sources of plant-based protein. Chickpeas, black beans, hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are great. Hemp seeds are also nice to add to smoothies, but they do have to me, the flavor is kind of strong. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't even taste it. I can taste them. So I can only do about a tablespoon of them, but they're a fantastic source of plant-based protein. Likewise, chia seeds, flax seeds, all very good. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Carlisa asked, can you make the fries? I'm thinking you mean without oil. Good question. So, especially when it comes to, eating vegan for health, a lot of people come to this movement for health reasons, and maybe your doctor has told you to go vegan to reduce your risk of something, or usually to reverse a chronic illness like heart disease. And not eating oil is a great way to help out with that. If that's your goal, a lot of doctors, especially these plant-based doctors, like Dr. Michael Greger will say, avoid all oil. You can still have fat, but the fat should come from wholesome forms of fat like avocado and tahini and nuts. So yes, if you want to make these fries without oil in the air fryer is the best bet to do that. So yes, you can do that. I don't exactly know how long you should cook it. I'm actually planning to do another sweet potato, like a basic sweet potato fry recipe for the blog within the next month. So I'll make sure to test a no oil version as well for all my no oil folks. Okay. But I'm sure you could just, if you Google no oil sweet potato fries, air fryer or oven, make them like whatever they suggest, and then use this topping. Now with this topping, we're going to talk about that right now, actually. Let me get started. I'm going to look at your comments again, but I do want to start chopping because for the jerk fries, it wasn't just, we're not just putting some spice on the sweet potatoes and calling it a full recipe. Now that is a recipe, but I don't know if that would be a recipe worthy of a cookbook as much. I mean, I guess it could, but I had to fancy it up, had to spice it up more than that, okay? A little bit more than that. So what we're going to do is like a nice, we're going to do some sauteed pepper, onions, ginger, some vegetables to top the fries with. So now we have a little bit of freshness on top of the fries as well. So I'm just going to mince this red bell pepper. And I got red bell pepper, scallion. So I didn't have a scallion, so I decided to do red onion for this. And that's a good swap because they're alliums, right? They're onions, essentially. They're both onions. So we're going to do the red bell pepper. I'm going to mince this, scallions, garlic, ginger. We're going to saute that a little. And by the time we're only going to saute for 1 minute. By the time the sweet potato fries are done, we're going to be done with this, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, our locate says, I'm abbreviating your name, if we diversify our meals, we'll get all of our amino acids. That goes back to that discussion we were having about protein. That's exactly right. If you eat a diversity and a variety, especially of wholesome plants, like what we're preparing right now, so you have your beans and your sweet potatoes and your whole grains and nuts and all the stuff that makes up a good diet, right? Like that's full of diversity in plants, you're going to get all the amino acids that you need. Now, if you feel like, oh, I need extra protein because I'm bodybuilding or I'm pregnant or whatever it might be, and as somebody, I've never been a bodybuilder, but I am quite active, and I have been pregnant. Eating, like when you're in those states, you're going to be hungrier anyway. So you're just naturally going to eat more food. So you're going to get more protein just naturally. You don't have to be like, okay, now I am, pregnant. I need to take a protein powder. as long as you're still eating, all this diversity of food and eating more, you're most likely going to be fine. Of course, if you have any concerns, that's a doctor thing, but more than likely you'll just be fine. Bodybuilding, I know, can be different because you might need to be eating like way, 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 way more. But I don't know. Are any of us bodybuilders? I know I'm not. So that's a whole different discussion. That's different. Okay. Oh, and thank you for the happy belated birthdays. Oh, so funny thing is my birthday was Sunday, but so was the 15-year anniversary of Sweet Potato Soul of the blog. So that's a pretty big deal. I'm happy it was my birthday. I'm grateful for another year, but I'm also I'm really thrilled that my blog has been around that long. Let me move you guys over here. So I'm going to show you the sweet potato fries. Is that really 10 minutes? Like what? How? These are like pretty perfect. They're pretty crunchy, crispy. They look perfect to me. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to move us back here. Hi. I'm going to move us back here. And you know what? I realize I'm like one plate down. We're going to let that sit for a second because I need one more plate. And I'm going to mince this. And I'm just going to take a break from that loud noise. That's the issue with the air fryer. It is so loud. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pop over and check out your comments too. Lay, been vegan for 10 years and love it. I'm aging backwards, almost 15. And people think I'm 27. I'm not surprised to hear that. It's so good for you in so many ways, eating plant-based. But nowadays in 2025, when I first became vegan, we didn't have many like fun vegan cheeses and vegan meats and, all this veganized stuff like we do today. And so we just I cooked a lot of my own food at home. Also, I didn't have a lot of money, so I wasn't definitely not eating out that much. I wouldn't have been buying vegan meats and cheeses anyway because it's so expensive. But it was like you're cooking at home, you're using these vegetables, and I feel like now it is a little bit confusing because there's such a prevalence of ultra processed vegan meats and cheeses and all these different foods that I have talked to a lot of people who, when they go vegan, they're very excited because, they already are familiar with all the stuff at the grocery store, Beyond Meat, and, Aldi has their line of vegan stuff. And so they start to eat more of the ultra processed foods and cook less of this, homemade, wholesome, minimally processed foods. So in the cookbook and in my videos and just I always recommend what I call an 80-20 way of eating. So 80% of the time you want to focus on eating minimally processed, whole foods, like what we're doing right now, right? Just like you recognize this is an onion, this is a pepper, those are sweet potatoes. It's not highly processed. And then no more than 20% of the time, no more than 20, enjoying those ultra processed foods, eating out at restaurants, refined things, refined sugars and grains, and perhaps even alcohol if you drink alcohol. But that should be like only a small part of your diet because those foods simply are totally devoid of nutrients. Well, mostly devoid of nutrients. Some of the processed meats aren't like void of nutrients. They're like high in protein and things like that. But majority of these things, highly processed foods, aren't giving you much, if anything at all, in terms of nutrients. And the wholesome plants, that 80% to 90%, the peppers, the onions, the sweet potatoes, the cilantro, everything we're preparing right now, each of these foods has their own benefits, like health benefits. They each have their own phytonutrients, which act as antioxidants in your body. They each have their own array of minerals and vitamins, which are all very healing and nourishing and help you to, just like be your best, feel your best, and also help you to like overcome any damage that might come from eating ultra processed food. So You don't have to totally avoid eating processed food. You don't have to eat super, super duper clean, no oil, everything every day. But I do think majority of the time, vast majority of the time, eat well. And that will allow you to still be able to enjoy those processed foods without any concern. That's what I always say. Yes. Okay. It has been a long time. It has been a long time. Oh, cool. Oh my goodness. Okay. Joan says falling off the vegan wagon. We're hoping to use this book to get back up once again. That's right. You're going to get back up. I hope these recipes are exciting for you. I feel like, when I have a recipe that I'm just like super excited to make, then I'm like ready to get in the kitchen, even if I wasn't before. Do you purchase any of, Jesse, ask me that question again. I didn't understand it. So right now, one little thing I'm going to do, couple things. I am going to get this container for one. I'm going to I want these sweet potato fries to look beautiful. I'll use the same for the cooked fries. Unlike white potatoes, sweet potatoes, when they're raw, they're not poisonous. Because you cannot eat raw white potatoes. But you can eat raw sweet potatoes, and they're nutritious for you, and they're just fine. They're just very starchy. So there's a little close-up. And I'm going to put the second batch of sweet potatoes in the air fryer. Tongs, here they are. And then we're also going to do that quick little topping, okay? I needed to do this before it gets too cold or too cool. Let's do that. Okay, so I got a little cast iron pan right here. Let me see. Yes, there's a link to purchase the book. So this cookbook, let's see, I'll move this here. This cookbook is a good example of that 80-20 concept I was just discussing. Like 80, probably 90% of the recipes in the cookbook, at least 90, are what I would consider this minimally processed, better for you types. Even though a lot of them don't look like it. Like one of my favorite recipes, these gochujang corn ribs. They look junky. Where are they? It's one of my favorites. But they're so easy to make, and they're super clean. Especially if you use a cleaner gochujang, which is a red pepper paste. There's a picture. But this cookbook has a lot of recipes like that I think will satisfy your desire for comfort food. Like a couple pasta, we've got a handful of pasta recipes in here. They'll satisfy your desire for comfort food, but they're nourishing and good for you. The same with these sweet potato fries. They're crispy sweet potato fries, but they're good for you. Okay, let me turn this on. This is my little electric stove. I don't know if you can see it, but I got a little electric stove here. So, let's see. What are we going to do? So we are going to heat our oil in this pan. I'll bring it over here so you can see a little bit better in a second. Then we're going to saute our peppers, our onions. This is going to be the topping. It's going to be so good. We also have some garlic and ginger over here. I'm going to mince some garlic really quickly, and then I'm going to grate some ginger, and I've got my microplane out right here. We're going to be grating ginger. We're going to do lime zest and also nutmeg. We're going to use this bad boy a couple of times to get all the flavor out of those very special ingredients. I like to grate the ginger really nice and fine because then you just get a little bit of ginger in every single bite. Another thing is for ginger, so I've just got some fresh ginger right here, but I also like to keep my ginger in the freezer. Should I grab it? I'll grab it. That'll make it a lot easier for me. I learned this tip from Rachel Ray, her TV show in 2007 when I first got interested in cooking. Freezing your ginger, it makes it so much easier to grate it. So I'm grating it on a microplane, but you can use a regular hand grater as well. A microplane just makes it a lot finer. Microplane is what you would use to zest citrus or to grate nutmeg. And I'm just warming up my little pan right here. So I got my garlic. Okay, I've got everything done right here. Let me make a little, let's see if this will reach. It should. Let me see. I think I got to do this. Let's see. Okay. It reached. Okay. And then I got my little tiny pan. Then we lift you up right here. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah, sweet potato. Did I already say that they used to have sweet potato juice? Oh, okay, okay. Tanya says, I've juiced the orange ones, sweet potatoes. Yes, so yes, you can juice sweet potatoes. And I used to work at this restaurant in New York, another one called Peace Food Cafe, which is still there. It's awesome. And that is the place where I worked when I became vegan. I owe my life in a way to them because becoming vegan has changed my life so many ways. It's my whole career now, thanks to working there. Anyway, I digress. They had a sweet potato juice on the menu, and it was really good. It was sweet potato mixed with, it still might be on the menu, but I think it was, I don't remember what else was in there. It was really good. It was surprising. Like, who knew? Oh, is that what was in it? Oh, okay. Tanya's saying what she puts in it. How do you peel the gingers? Asked Jessie. So to peel ginger, the best way to do it, I think, is with a spoon. So you take your ginger. This is such a tiny little piece. It's easier if you have a larger piece. But with your spoon, you just scrape it. Let me see. Where are we? Here's the camera. So this is my little piece of ginger. My spoon, the curved part facing me, and I'm scraping it towards myself. And you just scrape the skin off. That's going to be a lot easier than using a peeler or a knife because you can get it really nice, and you can go the opposite way also. But you can easily get all the skin off without, like, it's just, you can get in the cracks better because you really can't do that with a peeler or a knife. Maybe break this little piece off. Peel that part first and then break it off. This is some dry ginger, y'all. But, you know, this is how, anyway, that's how you peel ginger. With a spoon, okay? So this is nice and warm right now. What we're going to do is, you guys are just, y'all are just talking. Y'all are just talking. I love this conversation. I'm like, I don't want to miss anything, okay? So I'm going to pour the oil into the pan. It is very hot. And then immediately I'm going to add my peppers, my onions, my garlic. Okay. And then we're going to take this microplane and my nutmeg. I got my nutmeg and I'm going to do, how much nutmeg do I need? I also need the peppercorn. I'm going to grate some nutmeg in here to fry. Nutmeg is my favorite spice. My dad does not like it. I'm going to use this spoon since we already got it out. And we're kind of making like a chili fry, like a chili saute. It's going to be like our crunchy, it's like a salsa, like a fried salsa almost. Or, you know, in Indian cooking, I can't remember, I'm blanking on the term, but when, you know, when they put the hot oil on top of the spices and the herbs, this is what we're trying to do right now. Bring out the flavor of the pepper, sort of infuse the oil with the flavor of the aromatics, the onion and the pepper. It smells so good. You want to use a nice oil for this, especially because we're going to put the oily bits on the fries so to make them nice and saucy. Now, to make this without oil, you could just saute the onions and the peppers and such in a little bit of water. And so you're not going to have that like oily, you'll see, you're not going to have that. But you could do that. And then you still have that nice crispy, crunchy topping to go on top of your crispy sweet potato fries. Okay, now let me try to catch back up, y'all. I'm only supposed to be doing this for a minute. So that was about a minute. Let me get a Let me see. What should I put this on top of? I got a few. So I'll put it on top of this little, I'll put it here so you can see it better. This little tile. There you go. So I'm going to let that cool down. But before I get to your questions or your comments and questions and thoughts, I'm going to grate some lime zest. I love some lime zest. Citrus is a must. A must, a must, a must. At my cooking classes, I always like to try to remember each class to remind you guys, if you're ever preparing something and you feel like it's not right, like it's missing something, so many of us just say, okay, let me add more salt. It's missing something, let me add more salt. Before you add salt, there's 3 things that you need to check for first. Well, really 2 main things. The salt is one of the 3. Sweetness. Is it sweet enough? Like, because when you put a little sugar or a little agave or maple syrup in a dish, it will balance the flavors, especially a savory dish. That's the same way when we're baking, we add salt to any baked good, cookies, cake, whatever, to balance it out. Same goes with sweet, the other way. Okay, you added that, it's still missing something, right? Then the next thing you're going to want to try before you even think about salt is an acid. Citrus, vinegar, add a little bit, a teaspoon, a tablespoon, a little bit until you start to, those flavors start to round out and balance each other. The citrus. Most likely you're going to be done there. You're not going to need to add salt. But if it's just simply not salty enough, now you know because you've already balanced out those other flavors. And then the last thing a little bonus, fresh herbs. Fresh herbs bring everything to life, okay? So if you made a dish, it's almost there. It's almost there, but it's missing. I just don't know. Add a little cilantro, a little parsley, a little basil, a little mint, a little bit of fresh herbs will most likely set that baby off and complete that whole dish, round it all out. So that's all of what we have here, actually. It's well balanced. For the sweetness, we have the sweet potatoes, we've got the citrus from our lime, and we've got our fresh herbs, along with a myriad of other delicious flavors. So there you go. Okay, so I finished I hear the sweet potatoes, they're done. But I want to go. I missed some questions. Okay. Conrad, I like that tip. Conrad is a little chef in there. You like to make a ginger and garlic paste with a food processor that you freeze into 2 tablespoon cubes. I think that's so smart. It save you so much time. And when you put a lot of garlic and ginger into the food processor, then it's going to blend a lot better. I love that tip, Conrad. Thank you for sharing that. My goodness. Yeah, you can try this recipe with different colors, sweet potato fries, sweet potatoes as well. Also. Oh, and that's, is it Toaz is saying maybe with a quinoa or black eyed pea salad. That would be such a good combination. Adrian asks, do you ever use jackfruit and sweet potato greens? Yes. So I think there's only one, there might be 2. I think there's only one jackfruit recipe in this new cookbook, but you must try it, especially if you like jackfruit, but also just if you like chili. It is a green jackfruit chili. So the base of the chili, instead of being a tomato base, I did tomatillo. Tomatillo has a lot of acidity to it, even more than a tomato does. And that's a good example of that flavor balance I was discussing before. You add some sweetness to it. You've got that acidity from the tomatillos. And anyway, the jackfruit in there is really nice because it's like that texture. It's got that meaty texture that is reminiscent of like pulled chicken, or if you've eaten pork, pulled pork. Love that recipe. It's in this cookbook. Sweet potato greens, love them. I like to saute them. I don't get them often, and I really should because they are so nutritious, and they have them at my local international grocery store and a lot of times at the outside farmer's market down the street. But yeah, sweet potato greens are fantastic. Yes. Oh, and by the way, Margaret says no need to peel the ginger. I should have also, we didn't grate the ginger. We got to do that. I actually don't peel my ginger before I freeze it. I actually clean it really well. And usually I'll like scrub it with a potato scrubber, but sometimes I'll like put a little vinegar on it just in case there's anything else. Dry it off and then stick it in a plastic bag into the freezer. So that's actually how I do my ginger. But we forgot, but sometimes you want to peel it. Maybe you don't want the skin in whatever you're preparing. Especially like I make this turmeric latte every night and I do not peel it, right? I just use this for my turmeric latte. But for the uninitiated, you might not want the little bits at the bottom of your drink. There's like little bits of like some of the skin. You might not want that in your drink. So you might want to peel it if you just like, if it's a texture thing for you, which I totally understand. So I added the ginger and I did the black pepper, right? And so now we're done with this. And so now we can plate our sweet potatoes and top it with our chili. What is this called? I can't even remember what it's called. I wonder, I feel like the skin of the ginger is probably also very good to you. MJ True Pal asks, where do you find fresh nutmeg? So fresh nutmeg, this is always dried, but I buy it at, it smells so good. I bought it at Sprouts. Nutmeg is kind of expensive. So I buy it in bulk at Sprouts. Sprouts, at the end of some of their aisles, they have bulk spices, like everything. Like you can literally get just a teaspoon of something if you just want to give it a try. Sprouts has it. So I buy my nutmeg there. If I'm buying vanilla bean, which is crazy expensive, I buy it there. That way, I get as much as I need because nutmeg a little bit goes a very long way, but also it's always cheaper to buy it like that versus to buy a whole little container of it. Like a whole container might be like $8. And if I just buy as much as I need, that would fill up a container in their little bulk section, then it's like $3. So that's my little tip. A lot of people don't know Sprouts has that little bulk section, y'all. So make sure if you have a Sprouts nearby, you check it out. Okay, so let me put this down. Our sweet potatoes look great. Is this too hot? You know what, my counter, I think I could put hot stuff on my counter. I should know. I've lived here for 3.5 years. Oh, hot. Those are so good. I know I'm gonna have for dinner, y'all. Those are so good. I forgot about those. Linda asks, what's the pronunciation of your name? Janae. A lot of people call me Sweet Potato Girl, though. Blooming the spices. Thank you, Tanya. Everyone's like, Bloom, Bloom. Wake up. It's Bloom. Thank you. Okay. You guys, I love this. This has been so much fun. Our little hang time. Should I do more YouTube lives? Like I'm trying to think if I've ever done one just like open to the public. Because I've done like cooking classes where we stream them onto YouTube, but you have to have a special link to get them. But this is fun. And also I didn't have to film a YouTube video for this week. We decided instead of posting a pre-filmed edited video to just do this, which I like this. This is fun for me. So if you want me to do it again, let me know. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, a couple things. Okay. Oh, slow down, Shanae. My brain is going too fast. Let me finish this and then let me get to your other questions and comments. So it's looking beautiful. These sweet potatoes turned out so perfect. Nice and crispy. Look at that one. Just right. I don't know if you can hear it on my mic, but crispy, crispy. So good. I'm going to do lemon or lime zest, a little bit more on top. And we cannot forget our cilantro. I'm going to step right here because I'm afraid if I move this cutting board, something else is going to fall. So let me just mince real quickly. Chop, chop, chop. Okay. Here's our cilantro. Cilantro is so pretty. There we go. Our jerk sweet potato fries are done. And I am ready to eat them. I got to try it with, these are good. These are good. I approve. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not going to eat it all on camera. I wish I could share with y'all. But you saw how easy that was. I hope you'll give this recipe and all the other ones a try in the cookbook. Okay, I want to go back to some of these questions before we only have a few more minutes. It's almost 7. But, those are good. Okay, so we're talking about lentils. Somebody said something about lentils, right? Okay. And then Toas mentions pomegranate molasses, sweet and sour, great for stewed with lentils. So this lentil recipe on the back of the cookbook, it has a pomegranate vinaigrette, which is made with pomegranate molasses, one of my essential must-have favorite ingredients. It's a must. And so this, if you're looking for a great lentil recipe, this one is it. It's great all year round. It's great for meal prep because it's a lentil salad, so it's not going to get soggy or anything. As it sits in the refrigerator for like overnight, it just gets more delicious. And it's got fresh herbs. It's got all the good stuff. So, and it's got pomegranate molasses. So got to give that one a try. What are the sweet potato greens? So sweet potatoes, when they're growing, the greens, so sweet potatoes, they're tubers, they're growing underground, but on the surface are greens, like leaves. And so you can eat those leaves and they're very good for you. Unlike white potatoes, the leaves are toxic and raw white potatoes are toxic. Sweet potatoes, all of it, good for you. It's just good all around. Cooked, raw, greens, tubers, it's good all around. We love sweet potatoes. Oh, Denise asked for the turmeric latte. Oh, thank you, Jess, for sharing that link. You guys have to try that turmeric latte. It is divine. You can even ice it, so you can eat it. You can drink it in the summertime if you just want something iced. And it's an anti-inflammatory thing. It's an Indian recipe. People have been drinking it in India for thousands of years. It's turmeric that is, it's like cooked down in, I use soy milk, but a milk with ginger, black pepper. I sweeten it a little bit with agave, cinnamon, and cardamom. It's very good for you and super delicious. Oh, thank you for watching, Rando, since 2020. I don't age at all. Stop it. It's genetics. You should see my grandmother. My grandmother's going to be 89. And she was at my house the other day, and I'm looking at her like, where? How? What? This is crazy. She looks so young. My daughter's name is Georgie. So not Georgie, because, it's got the J's. Georgie. And it's like a Brazilian. She's named after a Brazilian singer. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I'll do more YouTube lives if you guys. Yeah, we did do that Halloween one. I don't remember it that well, but yeah, I kind of do. Yes, I'll do more YouTube lives, you guys. This is so much fun. I'm excited to be done with this cookbook. That sounds terrible. But it's just that I've been working on it for so long, and I'm really excited for some other things that I have in my mind that I've been wanting to do so badly. So finally, now I'm happy I can put this cookbook out in the world for all of you to enjoy now. And while you're enjoying it and you're making these recipes, I'm still going to be working over here, but I've got some different ideas, some fun ideas that I'm also very excited to share with you in the coming months. So new projects. I finish one, the next day I start a new one because it's fun. You can find pomegranate molasses online if you can't find it in your regular grocery store, but if you have an international section of your store where the Middle Eastern food would be, it would be there. Yes. Oh, and yes. Yeah, you can make the jerk seasoning from an online recipe. I buy it, but just whatever is best for you. If you are sensitive to heat, you might want to make it yourself at home though, because when you buy them at the store, sometimes you're not sure how spicy is it going to be. Oh, and Brittany mentions iron. Actually, I do have a video about getting enough iron on a vegan diet too. So check that out. That's a YouTube video as well. Oh yeah, and I'm going to be on the vegan cruise this year, next month, you guys. So if you guys can come on the vegan cruise, I think there's still some spots available. It is so much fun. I'm going to be making more recipes from the cookbook, but live in person. I'm teaching 3 different cooking classes, also doing a cookbook signing. It's a week-long Caribbean vegan cruise. It is so much fun. Yeah, I think this cookbook is more personal. I think my last cookbook was, my idea was like, I'm trying to veganize soul food. I'm trying to prove to you guys that you can go vegan and still eat your Southern food and your soul food or your cultural food. But this cookbook, I don't have to prove it, right? We already know that. So this cookbook is much more personal and family. You see, my family's throughout the whole cookbook. Living here in Atlanta, returning home after 15 years living elsewhere was super, like, part of the inspiration. And the reason I even wrote the cookbook was like coming home, I'm surrounded by my family. They're cooking awesome food. We're eating out at restaurants. I'm in my hometown, in my comfort zone, and I'm getting all this inspiration. So I really wanted that to come through in the recipes, in the photos, and in the book in general. So, oh yeah, do you have meatless recipes? You mean like recipes that are like swapping meat? Because there's a lot of things like that, like the jackfruit chili. Instead of using meat, use jackfruit. There's so many mushroom recipes in this cookbook too. That's why I didn't put more jackfruit, because I replaced the jackfruit with mushrooms. Mushrooms are so much more nutritious than jackfruit, but they're still meaty. They're so delicious. I love them. They're easy to cook. Yes, there's a lot of recipes like that in the cookbook. Just before I let you guys go, I just want to show a couple more. In particular, here's the jackfruit chili, by the way. And let me see. And if you have the book, that's on page 149. I've got dirty rice. There's a story about that you'll have to read in the book. I'm looking for these Korean pulled shroom sandwiches. Oh, rigatoni bolognese. That was a favorite of mine when I was a little girl. My grandmother used to make it all the time. That was like, she still does make it, to be honest. And I love hers. Hers is the best. Also, lion's mane crab cakes in here. Lion's mane is a type of mushroom. Where am I? Oh, here we go. I think this photo is absolutely so beautiful, but this is the Korean pulled shroom sandwiches. Pulled oyster mushroom with a gochujang Korean inspired barbecue sauce. Quite easy to make, but they look totally like something you'd get at a fancy restaurant, I think. They're so good though. So yeah, lots of that. Oh, I'm so happy you guys have your book. I am so happy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to take 2 more questions. Okay, Juan's question, what is your preferable way to cook sweet potatoes? And also Sharon. So my favorite way to cook sweet potatoes, to be honest, I don't have a favorite way because I cook them in so many ways. I love sweet potato fries. If you missed it earlier, I was saying how my daughter does not like sweet potatoes unless they are sweet potato fries. So we do this a lot at home. I also love baked sweet potatoes. That's one of my favorite comfort foods. So simple, easy to make. And I recently started baking them in the air fryer. That recipe is on the blog. It is so easy. Just like put it in there for 40 minutes. No oil required, no wrapping with aluminum. Stick it in there. So good. And I do add sweet potatoes to a lot of recipes. So roasting them in like little cubes, adding them to recipes, adding to soups. Oh, I love Peaceful Cuisine also. Okay, I wanted to take one more question. That was Sharon's. Do you have recipes that don't call for a food processor or blender? Yeah, this is a good one that doesn't call for a food processor or blender. There are a few in this cookbook that do, but those are things like hummus. I have a couple like bean dips, but I also have things like this one, or like as far as dips go, I have like a beet chutney recipe that doesn't require any tools, just, chop by hand. I do recommend for people who don't want to spend a lot of time prepping and chopping by hand for those recipes to use the food processor. A food processor is a wonderful tool to save you time in the kitchen and give you more, a wider array of recipes to make, like these hummuses, bean dips. I've got this chocolate tahini sauce. I think that's made in the food processor. I can't remember, but yeah, There's a lot of recipes that don't require any tools at all in this cookbook. And if I do suggest a tool like the air fryer, I also give instructions for making it in the oven, because I know not everybody has an air fryer or an Instant Pot. So there's that option too. Well, you guys, thank you so much to everyone who came tonight. Thank you for ordering my cookbook. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you to Jess for womaning this whole production that we're enjoying today. I couldn't do this without you, Jess, and I couldn't do this without all of you guys who supported me and watched my channel, purchased the book, make the recipes on my blog. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. We'll do this again. Yeah, this is fun. Bye. Thank you. Good night. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.